Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be talking a little about bully and being bullied. Okay, let's begin with it. What is bullying? As you can see from the image, bully, and also from the written text, bullying is repeated aggressive behavior meant to hurt, like it's an angry behavior meant to hurt or control anyone. It has certain types which are physical, verbal, social, and cyber. And bullying basically happens mostly in cases of, it happens differently in cases of girls and it happens differently in cases of boys. So today I will be focusing more on boys because for girls it is sometimes visible, but for boys it's most of the time not visible. So in boys, because they are told to not express their emotions in society, in our society, it kind of tends to come out in different ways, like bullying the weaker one, or the weaker one being alone or left alone from the group isolation. So all this affects his mental health, academics, and friendship as well. So, what are the mindsets of a bully? Often insecure, and sometimes there are issues with homes, and they seek control. They also do it under peer pressure to remain in a certain group, and their desire for popularity, especially in a child of 11, 10 to 18, or 10 to 20. It is also common in college going children, and especially common in college school going boys. Rationalizes behavior as fun and normal. They don't really take it or think that his behavior might be affecting the other child in very wrong way, which might affect his many years. So here is the data range I have represented across the years. For 2000 to 2005, the major categories were physical bullying and neglect. And after 2001, NCRB began separate tracking. In 2000 to 2013, it increased from 20,000 to 58,000. Special cases for school bullying and kidnapping. Special rise in urban reporting. From 2014 to 2019, it increased from 89,000 to 1,62,000, which was basically based on POSCO and cyberbullying. That's when the rise of Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube actually happened. So during that period, actually awareness campaign began. From 2020 to 2023, it again climbed from 1,06,000 to 1,77,000. That was a 40% increase. Basically, during COVID, we had a home setup, and the children were, in home, so they had more social media experience and online harassment, sexual offenses. That is post-COVID surge. Now, from the following year, that is 2024 and 2026, it actually increased more. Now we have from 2 lakh to 2 lakh 50,000, which is plus 25%. That is emotional bullying and peer exclusion, which is kind of very dangerous, and it has been mandated. So as you can see from this data, NEP 2025 mandates and sensitization of bullying, and we can see different cases: POSCO, cyberbullying, online harassment. So some of the times a mindset of a bully, especially in boys, it takes place in buses, it takes place in school where the cameras are not visible, or in isolated area, or if someone thinks that he or she is complaining, especially he is complaining to teachers, kind of teacher's pet, or come from a privileged background or come from a weaker background. These all factors affect bullying in boys. So what are the victim experiences? Victim feels scared, lonely, and helpless. They can have risk of depression, anxiety, and poor grades, and I might as well include some kind of my psychological disorders, because and suicidal tendency in worst case scenario, because they are not able to get help. We keep on seeing in the newspaper, and as per NHRS data, 17% adolescents report bullying yearly. Look at this image. The one is suffering in silence, and here we can actually helping with empathy, like talking with an adult, and the friends supporting each other, So, a victim experiences mostly depend on many conditions, like especially in India, even cultural background plays a major role. Like, as in, higher caste, upper caste, lower caste. Even the caste system is prevalent, but it is more dangerous in privileged kids and somewhere where the other person thinks, okay, I'm not deserved to be respected, or unworthiness, when a certain child gets unworthiness and the other get more power over them. So victim actually feels many kind of emotions, because he becomes socially withdrawn, doesn't really play or behave as is such, became silent. So this is what is these are all victim experiences. Now, let me go to types of bullying. Well, as I already told you, physical. It includes hitting, kicking, tripping, pinching, or damaging their personal property. Now, verbal, when I say verbal, that means talking. It includes name calling, insults, teasing, intimidation, homophobic or racist remark, or even verbal abuse, which is quite common in boys actually. Social, designed to harm someone's social reputation or cause humiliation, and it includes spreading rumors, encouraging others to socially exclude someone, mimicking unkindly, or playing nasty to embrace or humiliate. Now, this is very dangerous because it kind of happens in the class areas, and sometimes it just happens very openly. Cyberbullying, stalking, or giving threats in social media such as Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp, or instant message, text, websites, or other platform, and can include abusive or hurtful text, emails, post, images, video, or gossip, or even rumors. So look at it, the peer pressure is very kind of dangerous. You can see that here they are encouraging the boy to do substance abuse or use drugs, and here go on do it. Peer pressure bullying, like it's a subtle kind of bullying when we say about peer pressure. So, what are the trends in bullying? Bullying rates remain high across years, and nowadays it has also become major problem with LGBTQ adolescents, which rose from 31% 6 in 2015 to 44% 5 in 2019. So, overall victimization is 15 to 20% in the year 2021 to 2023. So, and as per NHRS child bullying report, you can see how it has increased in the year 2026, 38% related to POSCO cases. The same was in 2020, and in 2020 it was emotional bullying. But things got worse with the intent of COVID and the social media insurge after 2009 and 2015. So how can we deal with it? First of all, being empathetic towards the person getting bullied and understanding the psychology of the person who is bullying. We need to understand both of them. Why the other person is bullying this person or targeting a specific person, and what is the reason? Is it something happening behind his in his mind, you related to some kind of stress, or which he is taking out on others? And it also helps in reduce bullying and build kindness, because if we talk it out, if we do activities like low role play, group sharing, or buddy system means pairing one to two children and telling them to take care of each other, or each other works in friend circle. So this technique especially well works very well in case of you know uh, so basically, a body system role play, playing the role of a bully and the person as a victim. Group sharing, having a one-to-one talk, or sometimes, sharing your experience in a group. This kind of helps out in case of bullying. So how to ask for help? We can speak to parents, teacher, or the counselor present in the school. Call helplines for confidential support. Sometimes we are not able to say it openly. So for that, the helpline number 1098 is present in India. Write down incidents to report clearly, or you can try to record what is happening, or you can actually make written instant for your own understanding. If you have been gaslighted or is it real? So this is a child helpline number, uh, and here is an image given that dial 1098 connected to Childline Center. Childline team rushes within 16 minutes and rehabilitation and constant follow-up. Work with multiple stakeholders, which includes even the legal system. So in India, it's 1098. I won't go into USA and EU. You can see these numbers also. So, sensitizing today's children, awareness campaigns in schools, peer support group, yeah, it's very important, and kindness clubs. During any kind of, a teacher or a parent can just, nudge if something is happening, observe the child behavior, is it really going well, or he or she is silent, suddenly withdrawn. What is the reason? Social media can be used to express positivity and empathy. Empathy against the children, the teachers can be helpful, and in buses, there should be a proper understanding of why it is wrong and why it is not. And most of all, we should teach children to confront why the certain things are happening. If you curve over, then it will keep on happening and you really can't help yourself. So first try to be helpful towards yourself, and if still the problem is relevant, you can ask support from the school and the parents also and the higher authority present. So what are the legal rules? So bullying is against the law. It is against Indian Juvenile Justice Act. POSCO Act protect children. POSCO Act, which was established in 2012. Juvenile Justice Act for in 2015. Right to Education Act 2009 under Section 17 of Constitution. CBC Circular Number 13 slash 2015. Implementation of anti-bullying policy. Simple takeaway, bullying does have consequences, and we can understand this from this following laws: POSCO Act, Juvenile Justice Act, Right to Education Act, and CBSE Circular.